The greatest battle between Damilare and Bamidele has begun. Two people who will be fighting each other. The long-awaited Abejoye Season 6 has finally landed. Hey guys, welcome back to Sahara Movies. My name is Lydia and I'm your host for today. Like this episode, the first episode of Season 6 was fire. It was fire. In this video, I'm reviewing the first episode of Season 6 and then I'll follow up with some expectations for the second episode. That's episode 2, which will be coming out next week. Let's go straight into the video. So first of all, how did you feel about this episode? For me, I think this episode was everything. It really had a lot of details in it. There was a lot of questions. There was a lot of answers. We really understood this episode better. It started with the previous episode, that is the previous season in season 5. What happened at the latter part of season 5 before this episode, how the chaos village and also what's happening in America. They gave us synopsis of everything before they started the actual episode or the actual season 6. So yes, in the previous episode we saw that Baba Abejoye was asleep and then the witches came over to come and hunt on him. They came to hunt on him. But unfortunately for them, Baba Abejoye he's untouchable. You just cannot touch him. You dare not, because if you dare try it, you are going to see the last, you are going to meet the end of your life. So yes, the witches woke up the next day. One of them was deaf, the other one was blind, and the other one was just saying funny things. I think deaf and dumb. The other one was blind, and then the other one was saying funny things, acting mad and all that. So it's weird how you sleep and you wake up and then you mention someone's name and it turns you mad or it makes you sick or something. And I'm like, whoa, so these people, they know how powerful Baba Abejoye is, so why do they always want to still tempt him? If you know how powerful the Christian life or the spiritual life of someone is, why do you still tempt the person? I think this speaks to us. When your spiritual life is very strong, you don't really need to do anything. You don't really need to do anything. You just have to pray. You just have to be strong in your faith, and you'll sleep and all the fight will be fought for you. Just like the way Baba Abejoye was asleep and then all his fight was fought for him. I really enjoyed this episode because I was expecting that when the women woke up, they are going to tell the people what actually happened. But some of them were beating about the bush. Others were rewinding and trying to say it as if they are not really saying anything. So fast forward, they went to Baba Abejoye's house to apologize. They all went with their husbands. 2 women, the dumb one and then the blind one, they went with their husbands to apologize. I think that's a fair thing to do. And it's funny how these witches, their husbands have no idea this is what their wives are doing. This is what their wives are into. It's funny how sometimes you be so close to someone and to amaze you what they are really into. Not even to be a witch, but their way of life can give everything out. You'll be surprised that, whoa, I've eaten with this person. I this person is my best friend. So how could she do this to me? That's why it's important to strengthen our spiritual faith, so that if anything of such tries to come to us, we know that we are safeguarded or we are protected. So I could see how Baba Abejoye was still very calm. He was still calm. At the same time, he was sensing that something was going on in America. Sometimes it happens to some of us. You're okay, but there's something going on. You feel that there's something going on somewhere, but you can't really pinpoint what it is. He decided to speak to his son and then speak to him what's up, how far. But Bamidele, because he has done something wrong, he doesn't want to be forthcoming with his answers and dodging his father's calls and all that. But then he had to answer finally, because sometimes it's better to deal with it head on. And I was surprised that your father calls you. Your father is a spiritual man. After all, he has saved you so many battles that were targeted at you. So if you have been caught in such a situation, isn't your father supposed to be the first person you call, like Mr. Bamidele? If You have been caught in such a terrible situation, Mr. Bamidele. Isn't your father, Baba Abejoye, the first person to be your point of call? Because you know how spiritual and powerful he is. So I'm surprised he didn't call him. Like, I don't really care how wrong I do, but there are some people I want to give them the first news, no matter how they are going to criticize me, no matter how they are going to complain and all that. I really want to give them the first news. So I think though Baba Abejoye felt that this is wrong, that something is going on and something is wrong, and he called his son, and his son didn't be forthcoming with the answers. Funny enough, there was a way that he got to know the answers. Like, he himself, he's dealing with issues in the village, and his son too has been irresponsible here, causing problem, like an adult son who is just being irresponsible. So now, fast forward to Dedun, who we saw how what happened. Dedun was shook the hand of those spiritual African, I don't even know how to call them, and she went mad. Now Dedun's husband is Damilare. He's caught between so many things. He doesn't really know what the problem is. Okay, did my wife get mad because she slept with another man's husband? Did my wife get mad because another man's husband has cast a spell on the woman who sleeps with her husband? Like, so many questions, because he has every right to wonder. And I also think that he doesn't have any right to be angry, because he is the reason, or he is the cause for his wife's wandering about. Excuse me to say this, but I think that Mr. Damilare is the cause of his wife wandering about. Because if you are a responsible husband and he claims that he was being charmed and all that, but if you realize that you were being charmed and this is what has happened to your wife, shouldn't you be apologetic about it, rather than being all bossy and giving warnings and all that? Meanwhile, you've also cheated on your wife. Like, meanwhile, you've done the same thing. Your wife has done you something, and then you're upset. Like, there are people like that. They do something, you retaliate, and then they get offended, because what they do has done. Just unfortunately, she has gone mad, and what her husband did is basically on the same scale. Like, they weigh the same. I don't see one to be more serious than the other. Both of them have spiritual influence. I don't see why the Dun's husband has taken the matter so serious, like so seriously. Right now that Bamidele's wife is also very upset, and like it's a natural thing for women to be like, not women per se. Your husband, your spouse, with whom you have 3 children, cheats on you when you are away. Like, it's very painful. So I feel she also has every right to be upset. She has every right to isolate herself, even though it may be a spiritual attack. You are a human being. You feel like you have emotions, you have feelings. So if something like this has happened to your family, at least a day or two, you use it to process and everything. But my problem is with Mr. Bamidele. He's not showing remorse for anything. Like, you could tell that he doesn't even care. He's just living a normal life. He's really showing concern because of the problems that will come with it, but not really that the woman has lost her senses. That's not really his problem. From how I saw it, I think that Mr. Bamidele is not really showing remorse for what he has done. He doesn't really think that it's something to be alarmed about. That's why he didn't call his husband or anything, because his wife or his father or anything. Because if something like this has happened, and then you proudly say that your wife is supposed to be blamed also, like, where is the remorse? Where is the sorry? Like, I don't really see it. Okay, I'll be ending here. I think that this episode was really good. I really enjoyed this episode, especially the up next preview that was shown to us. You could tell that the up next episode is going to be really fire, because the battle has just begun. The battle between Damilare and Bamidele has just begun. Like, right now, he's saying that he's going to attack his wife and his children. Like, I'm like, wow. See the ripple effect of cheating. Like, ripple effect. Sometimes you cheat on the wrong person. Anyway, and what are your expectations for the next episode? I also think that this is where Mr. Abejoye or Baba Abejoye is going to really show his prayerful strength. Like, because his son's life is at stake. his, I don't know, but he is in really, really big trouble. He is really in big trouble. But there was a scene that the man who shook Dedun's hands was called, and like it was reviewed. I think when he finds out that he shook the wrong hands, he's going to be very upset. Like, you've been sent to throw an arrow at somebody, and then you miss the arrow and you're still happy. No, you haven't really hit the target. So let me know what you think about this episode. To me, I think it was wow. I really, really enjoyed it. And I also think that the next episode is going to be fire. Till next time, bye.